Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon. I'm back, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about something a little more fun. So, as you can see down at the bottom here, Marvel Strike Force is going to be undergoing maintenance tomorrow, likely to bring the new update with Proxima Midnight and the rest of the Black Order, and of course, Thanos' rework. So I wanted to talk a little bit about who Thanos is right now in the game, sort of what he's good at, what sort of teams he was in, just so we can something as sort of a timestamp of who Thanos was before his rework. I believe he's going to be getting the Infinity Gauntlet in the upcoming rework, and he's going to be playing around a lot with that. His skills are probably going to stay somewhat similar, I'd imagine, considering they already did the animations for all these. But he's going to have an empowered form, so he might get new skills on top of his additional skill or his original skills. But I just thought it'd be fun to sort of go through Thanos, how good he was right now, what he was good at, so that way when the new update comes out tomorrow, we can sort of compare the two Thanoses and how they've changed it, because the new Thanos will be pretty significantly different, and he'll be playing with a completely different set of characters. But we'll get more into that later, because in the future, he's going to be playing in a Black Order team, similar to how we have the Asgardians, the Power Armor, characters who share traits go on a team together. Thanos is going to go with the Black Order. Right now, he's sort of a homeless character, so to say. He was sort of flex. He could go on a lot of different teams and do a lot of work, specifically with cosmic characters, but we'll talk about that in his kit. So his basic attack, Power Punch, it's an okay basic. It's not one of the most incredible basics in the game. It's nice because he can gain a counter from it. So, counters are cute. I don't know if anyone gets super excited about having a counter. They're fine. Like, that's nothing to really get too excited about. The damage, okay. I mean, he's a protector, so again, you're not expecting his damage to be too ridiculous. One of his better skills is his special. What's cool about this is one of the first times in the game a character would gain taunt for 2 turns. When Thanos first came out, there was really only like Drax, and he was kind of one of the best tanks at the time because he would have the passive taunt that would come out as soon as he spawns. But then you kept America and Crossbones, who also would only be able to taunt 1 turn. Thanos is one of the first characters who was sort of able to gain the taunt for both turns. That made him one of the better tanks in the game at that time. He had a pretty big health pool too, and this isn't that bad of a skill in terms of damage. Plus, it applies offense down. It's a pretty sweet skill. Like he'll grab a person, he'll just like slam them into the ground and like laser blast them. I mean, it's a very intense skill when you use it in the game. But it was a really cool skill. Because of the fact that you could gain the taunt for 2 turns, and this works into his passive, which we'll talk about next. But again, it's not as incredible as it was back when it first came out because of all the different characters we have now and how everyone else is taunting. But back when that was first released, that was a pretty big deal. So this is the important thing right here. He gets 1,000% extra resistance while taunting. So sort of Thanos' big thing, along with being sort of tanky and having that double taunt, and then along with this other thing we'll talk about in a second, he had a lot of resistance. His big thing was if he had buffs on him, you probably weren't going to be able to get him off. I think Jessica Jones for a long time was one of the only people that could really take taunt off of Thanos. Generally speaking, Captain America put out taunt. Well, let's just clear the taunt. We have a very buff focused meta, so you want to clear those buffs off of enemies. But what was interesting about Thanos is while he was taunting, he got 1,000% extra resistance, which that means it was pretty much impossible to remove positive effects from him unless you had a character like Jessica Jones on the team. So that was sort of what was really cool about him. So not only was he able to taunt more than a lot of other characters could, but it was much harder to remove those taunts from him than a lot of other characters. And then probably what made Thanos so great was this passive right here. The on death of an enemy, always generate 2 ability energy for self or any adjacent cosmic ally. So it's really cool for this is for raids. Well, really raids was the big mode. This sort of applies to blitz and arena, but really you were using this in raids. He just pumped out energy like crazy. And I'll show you the team he was sort of on. Probably it is one of the best teams in the game, and it's one of the few teams in this game that doesn't use all these characters with the exact same trait, minus the fact that they're all cosmic characters. So this is a really cool passive. I hope we get to see something like this again on other characters, because again, after tomorrow's update, Thanos, you're really going to be slotting him with the Black Order. He's not going to be going with other characters like he used to. I'd really love to see more characters in the game that can do something like this for characters that are, especially characters that aren't cosmic, because this is just crazy good. Like, this is super helpful. But let's talk about his ultimate before we start talking about the one team he was on. So his ultimate, Energy Bomb, it's a pretty cool ultimate, mostly because the damage is okay, but what's cool about it is the 100% drain. So not only was Thanos taunting, he was super tanky, but he's going to be taking all these hits for 2 turns. But then you could use this ultimate, and you could, if you're in a raid or something like that, you could heal back up to full health. This was just awesome. It worked really well in his kit. It was just a super fun skill to use. It was super fun to heal up all the health. So overall, I really like Thanos, how he was. You could argue he's maybe not as strong as he should be, but again, this is Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet, so this is about how Thanos, I think, should be without the Infinity Gauntlet in terms of like power level in the Marvel Universe. You know, Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet, he's just like a big purple guy. Who has some other powers here and there, but really he's just big, you know, and so I think this does a pretty good job of showing who Thanos is. Without the Infinity Gauntlet, but I'm excited for the Infinity Gauntlet to come tomorrow and for him to work really well with the Black Order. But I'm going to show you guys the team that Thanos did work on. So this team right here is the BKT. I believe that's the technical term for it. I believe that stands for Best Kree Team. But there's not a lot of Kree on here. There's Minerva. So again, I'm not a huge, I don't really understand the name completely, but this was the team. This may not be the exact lineup. In Marvel Strike Force, it can sometimes vary how you're supposed to set up a team because you want them to be arranged by each other in specific ways, because you have characters like, you know, that will only heal adjacent, or you want to put the tank in a certain area, so if there's chain attacks, it doesn't hit other characters. So this isn't the exact lineup per se that you would put them in the game, but this is the team that you would use. So what's really cool about this team is, you remember I talked about Thanos' passive where he generate energy when enemies die. You could combine this with Star-Lord, who would be generating energy for his team every turn, and you just have a ton of energy going for this team. And then you combine that with Rocket Raccoon's AoE, which is incredible. It does a ton of damage. I mean, Rocket Raccoon's ultimate is crazy, so it's just such a good ultimate. And then Minerva would help keep the team going with her heals. So this was like a really good team for raids because of the fact that Minerva could heal. Star-Lord and Thanos would help generate energy, and then Rocket Raccoon would just mow everything down. Just super cool team. I never got to use it myself because I never got Minerva. Minerva's never really been made farmable so far, I believe. So just sort of sitting here waiting for Minerva to become farmable. But still, I really like this team just for the fact that it's not all characters that share the exact same team trait. You know, Minerva's really supposed to go with the Kree team. Thanos, he didn't really have a team, but now he's going to go Black Order. And then you have the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I always enjoy when you can see teams that sort of break the mold of just following traits. So anyways, that's how Thanos was in Marvel Strike Force, sort of a homeless character, but he still had a lot of teams he could sub in on. Pretty much any cosmic team, Thanos was a huge help just simply for his passive. I was a big fan of his kit. I hope they keep this base kit when he changes, and then they're going to have the empowered form, so then I hope they add on a bunch of like crazy stuff with his empowered form. I'm really excited for the update tomorrow. I always love getting to see more teams added to this game, so very exciting stuff tomorrow. And I'll be back hopefully tomorrow to let you guys know about the Black Order and all the new characters that came out, and I'll try to give sort of a run through on all that changed in the new patch. But with that being said, I hope everyone is still happy and healthy. And what do I really know? I am only an 18-year-old. Have a nice day, guys.